There's a rusty trap hanging in your barn. Turn the pan over. The words on it decide whether it's $5 or $5,000. I'll be straight with you before we start, because I'd rather lose you now than waste your evening. Most of the traps hanging in most barns are worth between $11 and $40. That's not me being pessimistic. In one auction in February of 2022, a lot of 3 antique traps, Oneida, Victor, Animal Trap Company, realized $11. A Triumph 4XC, complete and in good working order, realized $15. A bulk lot of 30 jump and coil spring traps realized $40. Those are real results from a real sale. And in that exact same sale, 3 lots away. One trap realized $1,507. Same barn wall, same rust. The difference is a stamp on a little steel plate in the middle of the jaws, and almost nobody turns it over. That plate is called the pan. Tonight I'm going to teach you to read it. The pan is the treadle, the flat piece an animal steps on. On a Newhouse trap, it carries the maker's name, and the wording changed 6 times across 126 years. Each wording boxes the trap into a window of about 20 years. Here's the ladder, earliest to latest. A slick pan, no lettering at all, is the earliest, around 1850 to 1855. Newhouse Community, New York runs roughly 1865 to 1888. Newhouse Kenwood, New York is about 1895 to 1905. Newhouse Oneida Community, New York overlaps it, 1895 to 1911. Then a 1911 patent stamp running to about 1925. And last, the long one, Oneida Newhouse, registered U.S. Patent Office, made in USA, Animal Trap Company, Lidditz, Pennsylvania, that's 1925 to 1976, and it's the one you'll find most often. It's also the one worth the least. So, fewer words is older, and older is money. If your pan is blank, stop what you're doing. It's worth 2 minutes on where these came from, because it explains why the early ones are scarce. Sewell Newhouse was a blacksmith in upstate New York who started forging traps one at a time, by hand, before the Civil War. His traps got a reputation for being the ones that held, which in that trade meant the difference between a season's income and a season wasted. He ended up inside the Oneida community, a religious commune in New York State, and the community took the trap into production. That's why the pans read Community, and Kenwood, and Oneida. Those aren't 3 companies, they're 3 moments in the same place. The community eventually turned into the silverware firm whose name is probably in your kitchen drawer. In 1925, the trap line was sold to the Animal Trap Company of Lidditz, Pennsylvania, and that's the last rung on the pan ladder. So when you read that plate, you're reading a date on a business that ran from a one-man forge to a commune to a Pennsylvania factory. The blank ones are the forge. And there's a book about all this you can read tonight for nothing. A.R. Harding published Steel Traps in 1907, while these were still being sold new, not looked back on. It's out of copyright. There's a chapter in it on Newhouse himself, and chapters on the double and web jaw traps, and on Victor and Hawley and Norton. A man writing about the object while it was still a tool, not a collectible. Now the part you can check with a thumb, in the dark, without a magnifier. Newhouse bear trap pans carry raised lettering. The letters stand proud of the metal, cast in, and you can feel them. Stamp letters are punched into the metal so they sit below the surface. That matters both ways. On the big bear traps, raised lettering is normal and correct. But Animal Trap Company switched the Newhouse No. 3 and No. 4 to a raised letter cast pan in 1976 when the old stamping dies wore out. So, on a small trap, raised letters mean late, not early. A No. 3 or No. 4 with a raised letter pan is about $100. Feel the letters first, then read them. And here's the beat almost nobody knows, which is the reason I said turn the pan over rather than read the pan. When the Animal Trap Company bought up its rivals, it didn't throw away their pans. It flipped them over and stamped Victor on the new top face, which means the original company's name is still there, on the underside, upside down, where nobody looks. Tom Parr, who runs the Trap Museum in Ohio, writes that traps like that may bring $500 or more from a serious collector. Same trap. Same rust. One turn of a screwdriver. While you're under there, look for a horseshoe outline stamped into the pan back with a trap size and good luck, Animal Trap Company, Lidditz, Pennsylvania. The pan isn't the only thing with words on it. Check the springs. A spring reading Very Best Animal Trap Company, Abingdon, Illinois is pre-1910 and is described by collectors as an equally rare find. That's your second reading. Pan, then springs. 2 places, 30 seconds. Now, the countdown. Number 10. The bulk lot. 30 stop-loss and jump traps, coil and leaf spring, sold as 1 box. Realist, $40. I'm putting this at 10 deliberately because this is what most of you have. A box of mixed 20th century commons is a $40 box. Knowing that is worth something, it stops you paying to ship a box that isn't worth shipping. Number 9. 3 antique traps, 1 lot, an Oneida, a Victor, an Animal Trap Company, 1.5. Realized $11. 11 for 3 traps. Number 8. A Triumph 4XC Easy Set, triple clutch, complete and working. Realized $15. Complete, working $15, condition alone doesn't save a common trap. Number 7, and now we're on Newhouse, and the numbers start climbing. A Newhouse No. 1.5, smooth jaw. Realized $33.22. That's the entry rung. It's a real Newhouse, it just isn't a big one. Number 6. A Newhouse No. 3, smooth jaw. Realist $78.78. Number 5. A Newhouse No. 2.5, and this one has toothed jaws and its pan cover. Realist $140. Note what changed. Smaller number than the 3, more money. Teeth and completeness beat size. Number 4. A Newhouse No. 3.5, toothed jaws. Realized $191. Number 3. The Newhouse No. 14, the Wolf Trap. At Jeffrey S. Evans and Associates in the Steidle Collection Sale of February 2024, a number 14 with the 1911 patent pan carried an estimate of $100 to $200. It realized $343.75. Number 2. The Newhouse No. 5 Bear Trap. And here the estimates stop meaning anything. In that same Steidle sale, 2 number 5s came up back to back, both estimated at $150 to $250. The first, pan reading S. Newhouse, Oneida Community, New York. Realized $1,168.50. 3 bids. The second, with the 1911 patent stamp on the pan, realized $1,062.50. And in a different sale, a different number 5 realized $1,507. Estimated at $150. Sold for over $1,000, 3 times in 2 different rooms. And number 1. The Newhouse No. 6, the bear trap. 3 realized prices, 3 different sales, so you can see this isn't a fluke. 2013, a No. 6 Mark S. Newhouse Community, New York, the Great Bear Tamer, realized $3,725. 2022, at a Texas ranch sale, a No. 6, 14 inches by 45, estimated at $200 to $400. It realized $4,425, including premium, 11 times the high estimate. And in another 2022 sale, a No. 6 with teeth, original chain and ring, spanning 44 inches, $5,500. 12 bids. That's the ceiling I can actually prove. There's one above it that I can't, and I want to be careful about how I say this. The earliest Newhouse pans, the slick pans, no lettering, are the ones collectors chase. Tom Parr's published figure is that a good No. 6 slick pan could bring $8,000. Now, that's a collector guide figure from the man who runs the museum. It is not a sale. I went looking for a realized price on a slick pan, and I found an auction listing with an estimate of $7,500 to $12,500 and no result published. The page is still frozen mid-sale. So I'm not going to tell you slick pans sell for $8,000. I'm telling you the most credible published figure says 8, and I couldn't find the receipt. That's a different sentence, and you deserve the accurate one. I want to come back to something, because it's the single most useful pattern in this whole episode. Look at the estimates again. The Steidel No. 5s, estimated $150 to $250. Realized over $1,000 twice. The Texas No. 6, estimated $200 to $400. Realized $4,400. Those aren't bad auction houses. Jeffrey S. Evans is a serious firm, and so is the Texas sale. What that gap tells you is that a general antiques house catalogs a trap as a rusty iron object, because that's what it looks like. And then 2 or 3 collectors who can read the pan show up and decide what it's actually worth between them, which means the gap isn't a mistake. It's the whole opportunity. The people bidding it up knew something the catalog didn't, and what they knew is exactly what I've just taught you. It also tells you where not to sell. If you take a genuine early Newhouse to a general sale with a $200 estimate on it, you're relying on the right 2 people happening to be in that room. Sometimes they are, 3 times in these results they were, sometimes they aren't. And the other half of it is completeness, which is worth spelling out because it's specific. Look at what the $5,500 No. 6 actually had, teeth on the jaws, and its original chain and ring still attached, not a replacement chain, the one it left the factory with. A trap is not just the jaws and the springs. There's the pan cover on some models, the chain, the swivel, and the ring on the end of it. Every one of those that's missing pulls the number down, and a chain is the easiest thing in the world to lose in 80 years on a nail. So when you take yours off the wall, take the whole thing. If there's a chain coiled underneath it on the floor, that chain is part of the object. Everything I've shown you sits underneath 2 rules, and they come from the collectors themselves. The 2 most important things in trap collecting are the clearness of the pan stamp and the completeness of the trap. If the pan can't be fully read, or the trap is missing parts, the number drops hard. So before you touch anything, and this is the one that costs people the most money, do not clean it. Do not take a wire wheel to it. Collectors prefer the patina to a trap shined up with a wire brush, and taking the patina off actually reduces the value. If a trap still carries factory oil and was never set outdoors, that's a new old stock item and it's a category of its own. The barn did the right thing to it for 80 years. Don't undo that in an afternoon. One plain word before we finish. These are historical objects now, not equipment. Large leg hold and bear traps are illegal to set in most states. Owning one, hanging one on a wall, collecting one, that's fine. Setting one is not. And at number 6 is a 40-pound spring-loaded machine built to hold a bear. Do not try to set it, and do not try to spring it to see if it works. People have been badly hurt doing exactly that. Everything I just walked you through, plus 9 more categories and the registry I flipped to at the sale, is in the field book below. If you want to go deeper on traps specifically, there are 2 names worth knowing. Tom Parr, president of the North American Trap Collectors Association, writes the antique trap column in Furfish Game, and he and Andreski put out the Trap Collector's Guide. The current edition runs 224 pages with an A to Z price guide by maker. Robert Vance is the other, and he's the price guide man. And if you want the free one, A.R. Harding wrote a book called Steel Traps in 1907, while these things were still being sold new. It's out of copyright. You can read the whole thing online for nothing. And there's a chapter in it on Sewell Newhouse himself. There's also a trap museum in Galloway, Ohio, over 4,000 traps mouse to bear size. You have to phone ahead. So here's what you do. Go out to the barn. Take every trap off the wall. Turn each pan over, top face first, then the back. Count the words. Fewer words is older. Blank is oldest. Feel whether the letters are raised or stamped. Read the springs. Photograph the pan straight on, in good light, before you do anything else. And leave the rust exactly where it is. Tell me in the comments what the stamp says. Next week, the thing hanging beside them is worth more. Next time, barn lanterns. There's a stamp on the tank that dates them the same way, and one maker's is worth 20 times the rest.